Oh yeah, we are streaming live. Now I gotta get the other people in. Give me some time, folks. Give me some time. I hope you're tuning in. If you are tuning in while I'm waiting, first of all, let me find our tune in. I'll entertain. This is, folks, this is the first time. This is the first tune we ever heard on in Jewish. First whistling. How did it go? Now I've forgotten it. Oh boy, it goes like this. There we go. All right, now I'm getting the link. Someone already clicked like. 3 people watching. One of them is me. The other 2 might be my wife somewhere upstairs trying to show us support. But yeah, thanks for the vote of confidence. Where are we tuning in from? Meantime, let me share the shareable link. This is the shareable YouTube link. I'm one of those guys who talks while I work. You don't want to be my workmate. Okay, now I'm going to press the L key, then the W button. All right, let's hit very corny humor. Very corny humor, folks. Frumprov. All right. We are live. Perfect. So we got a great lineup for you. We have Shmuley's in. I need to still share this around. Shmuley! Connecting to audio. Let's wait. Where else am I going to drop this? I'll drop this in some WhatsApp groups. There we go.
Hey.
How you doing, Shmuley?
Good. What's up?
Thank God. Thank God. Nice to meet you again, folks.
Wow.
Now Shmuley, we started chatting, and it turns out I was in yeshiva with Shmuley back in the day. We were in Morristown together.
Mm-hmm.
2001, 2002, right?
We were in Morristown together 2000, right before 9/11. You were there 2001, 2002.
Oh, sorry, 2000 to 2001, I meant.
Yeah, that's right.
I stayed the beginning of the second year.
Yeah. So just to make it clear, we are on YouTube Live, right?
We are.
I'm a little nervous.
That's a great start to the.
Yeah, perfect.
So I'm gonna guess your thing is gonna be very much filled with slapstick.
Yeah, Vada. Yeah, right. Okay, so you told me you have some issues that you wanted to share with me. Okay, I'm listening. What happened? Hold on, I gotta get this video. Imagine a therapist did this. I don't know.
And that's how therapists nowadays should do it. I've got my pen over here.
I literally found this yesterday in my box. Literally.
Size doesn't matter, okay? I have a small pen over here, but I'm writing. It's legible. It works.
Yeah. That's great. So, by the way, you were in Shir Aleph when I was in Shir Dalet or Gimel or something?
I was in Shir Gimel.
Shir Gimel. Wow. Yeah. Okay.
And I was reminiscing about this because from what I remember, I lived in my own little bubble, and but you were like from the Detroit crowd, which was like a very like religious crowd. I played hockey every night, and then at the end of the year, all of a sudden, I don't know, you got up there and did a full like 2 hours of stand-up comedy.
Yeah, on the Detroit crowd. I have a hat closest to that. So I want to tell you that yes, I did 3 years of Detroit yeshiva and 6 years of therapy. You know, and I was a big Detroiter when I went to Morristown, and I'm still rebelling against it. I'm still unsure. My therapist told me I should stay away from Detroit, so I've missed many, many good music festivals, and I'm very upset about that. But all because of Yeshiva Slobovich, apparently. Something like that. Some comedy in that realm. What are you going to do? You know? Anyway, I'll say this. Oh, I really like how I look in this Slobovich-ish hat. I bought this in the thrift shop. By the way, if you want to buy a Slobovich hat, you go to a thrift shop. Guys, do you hear them in the background, by the way?
No, not really.
Okay, no problem. You can continue. Anyway, if you want to buy a good hat, in good like hat, the Hamish hat. You can buy them in the thrift stores. They're really, really good. In fact, I have a dumb story. I one time found this Hamish hat and a number on it, and I called. It was almost like a shliach story. And the guy called me back and said that his son threw it in the garbage. So that was it. But
Because it was a Lubavitch hat. Lubavitch hats look like garbage. That's a sign of, like, one of the differences between Litvaks and Lubavitchers are Litvaks have smashed cars but amazing hats. Lubavitchers have amazing cars but smashed hats.
Interesting. Could you say that again? I wasn't listening.
All good.
Lubavitchers have smashed hats and smashed cars. We know that.
That's okay. That's fair. That's
Yeah,
fair
and then
argument.
only in the last 10 years, Lubavitchers start making money. They really have a lot to catch up on. You know what I'm saying?
You're talking Crown Heights. I'm in Montreal, where Lubavitchers are clunking around in things that have no doors.
Yeah. Okay. By the way, this is being recorded, right?
It's live on YouTube. Actually, I should record it. Whoops.
Yeah.
Let me start recording it. So far, it's only me and you. I don't know what's going on with the others. Slackers.
Do we know how many people are watching live?
I can check. Hold on. I was too busy chatting. Give me a minute.
Yeah, maybe. Is it possible to record it? I mean, whatever.
10 people watching, and we have the Schwer from Crown Heights is watching. So I don't have a Schwer in Crown Heights. Is that yours?
Uh-oh. Oh, no. My uncle used to say the joke. He used to go to the women's section. He'd be like, hello, my mother-in-law didn't have any kids. You know what I mean? All right. So I'm working on that joke. I'm working on his character, actually. Uncle Louis. Yeah, I sent you the YouTube link. You can log into that. Okay.
So I remember your song, by the way, that you wrote back then. It went, throughout the year in Morristown, Sarah is laughing and Wolf can't be found. Spalter is wealthy and I am now poor. Try talking to Willie, you're out the door.
Damn.
You got everyone singing.
Morgenstern wrote that. I totally forgot about that. Hold on. I want to look like a dumb guy from Brooklyn. Okay. How you doing? What's up? Okay.
That's accurate.
A little bit better. Okay. One time I wrote an article. I wrote that a Hasidic guy sneaks into the coffee shop and he takes his curls and slips it under his baseball cap. He's looking from a weird looking Hasidic guy to a dumb looking 80s guy. That was the line I wrote down. I just remember putting on the hat. So you remember that song, the from Morristown? That was so cool. It's so interesting. Yeah, wow. I'm very touched that you remember me. I vaguely remember you. I only remember myself for the most part. And what have you been doing since you were done with Morristown?
Oh no, you brought out the pencil.
Sorry.
I'm on Shlichus, man. I'm on Shlichus in NVG, Montreal.
I
was actually on Shlichus in Russia for a bit. Got thrown out by the government.
How does that make you feel?
Huh?
Well, how does that make you feel?
Terrible.
You're a shliach in Montreal now, legit?
Legit, yeah.
Cool. Montreal's an awesome place. Okay, first of all, we love Canadians. You know, Canada, the healthcare system and stuff like that. It's really, really amazing. Really, really beautiful. And Montreal's a beautiful city, and we really enjoy it. And most Lubavitchers agree with me that that Canada is awesome. They're very Canada-esque, very pro-Canada. That's a joke, obviously, but I think it's awesome. I think Canada's an awesome place. I'm very happy for you that you live here. It's really good. Also, the hot dogs in Montreal taste good. Why do the hot dogs in Montreal taste good? What's the explanation for that?
It's only in the arena they say the hot, but you're right. The hot dogs taste. I see it the other way. The hot dogs around the rest of the world are nasty. I don't know the reason.
Right. So I hear from that we all just like each other's hot dogs.
Ooh, hey, this is a family-friendly show.
Oh, I'm sorry.
But the matzah, it's the same thing. Montreal's got good matzah, and I remember all the jokes about cardboard matzah.
You guys gotta lower it because I can't focus. Okay, no, I hear you, and I have some jokes written in that arena.
You want to go? Go first.
Okay, I'll say the first joke. You'll probably tell me if it's inappropriate or not.
It's inappropriate.
If the joke is inappropriate?
Oh, someone else is arriving. So
okay.
Oh, go ahead. You can get started. There's no or we could just chat for a bit.
Oh, okay.
All right, who's in? Just call me crackhead. Are we getting like Nazi bombed right now?
Oh, I recognize that guy. Hey, he left. Hey, question: are only comedians coming into the Zoom, or is it everyone?
It's only comedians.
Oh, only comedians on the Zoom. Okay.
Yeah, if anyone else tries to join, I just throw them out. Or we could like make fun of them,
20 people are watching on YouTube, which is really good.
Yeah. If we got lucky, it'll go up to 30.
Yeah, no, I have Facebook Live videos. I do singing, okay, and then my audience doubles all the time. You know, I go from 3 people to 6, and it goes down to 2. It's very sad, and it's great though, because the whole point, honestly, if you think about it, the whole point of singing is to sing to one person, right? You think, let's say, for 1,000 people, and then 500 listen. No, 300 are listening, and 200 are into it, and about 10 really get it, and one person's affected. You know, shlichus is the same way, right? So my Zoom, one person's are showing up, and that's it. I don't have to show up to everybody else.
But it's that one person who was supposed to be there.
Yeah.
It's one person that was sent to you.
Okay, so let me ask you a question. Why do people that wear this hat?
How you guys doing?
Oh!
How's my connection? Hey, how are you? It's on face. How are you?
Your connection is not
how's
so
my
good.
How's my connection?
Your connection is not so. I should leave it in the chat. Your connection's not great. You look like the 93 version of the internet.
I know. I'm
loading like that.
I'm in a. That's the thing. I'm in a funeral home now, and service is terrible here.
That's the best joke in the world.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He works in a funeral home. I don't think that was intentional, but that was great.
Yeah, well, it is what it is.
I mean, service is terrible. I came for a funeral and they cremated. All right.
The internet service is terrible over here, both by phone and by internet. I didn't think I'd be working tonight. I got a surprise call. What?
Is that because it's 6 feet under the funeral home?
Sometimes it feels like that.
Good to see you, Saul.
Yeah, how are you?
Nice to see you again.
So up here at the left is Shmuley Blasovsky.
Oh, my boy Shmuley Blasovsky. How are you?
You recognize me with this hat and glasses and looking different?
I don't recognize you with the hat. No, I
put it on as a gimmick.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, I've seen you many times back in the day at Cholent. Speaking of Cholent Face, at Thursday night Cholent. You know, don't pardon the pun. You know.
Oh, move your camera down. We only see it. Yeah, no, yeah, there, that's great. It's a lot better.
Yeah. Yeah.
I have a question for you too. Hold on one second. Why people that wear this hat that peaked in the 70s, do they say most stories they don't say stories straight up. They're not like I spoke to the guy and this is what happened. It's always an intro of an intro. So I never forget it. 10 o'clock at night, and it was exactly in that minute, and the guy called me and, hey, Ariel, Kat. The guy called me, and I'll never forget it. He looked me in the eye, and he put down the phone, and he said, Rabbi, listen. So it's like 75 introductions before they say anything. Why does it work that way?
I was too distracted by Ariel, who just arrived, showed up, was in a car, and then probably got in an accident. Saul, if you hear anything, keep us updated.
Yeah.
God forbid. No, but you were saying, why do we always start with like 10 different...
Specifically shluchim from the 70s, okay? They have this like kremp. They don't talk straight. They don't say a story that happened. There's always 45 introductions. First of all, I'll never forget it. Every introduction, I'll never forget it. Till this day, I'll never forget it. It was exactly at 10 o'clock at night, and exactly that time, he called me, and he said, Rabbi, listen, looked me in the eye, put the phone down, and I'll never forget the words he said to me. And there's so many introductions, they never actually say anything, you know? And at the same time, I realized that story. Yeah. So what?
And that person is me.
Oh, that person is me, yeah. I was talking to myself the whole time. I'll never forget what I told myself. And, you know, and these things happen. Anyway, I just wanted to point that out. I'll put on my other hat again.
Yeah.
My identity crisis, I think. Go ahead, Saul. You want to say something about dead people?
No, nothing really. I just wanted to say that the good news is there's not as many bodies, much less. It was crazy at one point, but it's much less now, thankfully.
Mm-hmm.
Just wanted to share the good news.
All right, who's G? We have someone arrived named G. By the way, there's a waiting room. I don't know. Yosh is supposed to be here, and Ariel, you guys are late. We're the Chabadniks. Us two are the Chabadniks. You guys, Saul, you showed up like 5 minutes late, and Ariel, what's going on?
I'm sorry.
No worries. Yeah. It's all good. It's all good.
Yeah.
Shall we get started, or what's the plan? All right. So, Shmuley, you want to let Saul go first? Or actually, I'm supposed to do an intro. Hold on, I prepared stuff. I'll go first. I'll go
question.
First,
how do we know if people are laughing? Because usually, I mean, it's nice and quiet. A lot of people bring their kids, you know, to sleep.
Yeah.
when I do shows.
If I can go first, it would be
Yeah.
great.
Okay, so I'm going to mute everyone. I'm put it to speaker view. Give me a moment. It's like I'm new at this. All right, there we go. Now I'm the man of the house. And I get to see Saul. This is great. Okay, so what was I gonna say? Yeah. So this whole quarantine thing, I'm finally understanding Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai, how he was. Let me start over. I'm so like I need to get back into this space. Take two, take three. Here we go. So now with all this quarantine, I'm finally beginning to understand why Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai, after 12 years in a cave, walked out, and the first person he saw, he turned him into a pile of bones. Okay, for those of you who don't know, Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai was, when the Romans were chasing Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai, he hid. He went inside a cave. It was like a man cave, and the greatest man cave of all time. He had a stream of running water. He had a boxer tree. He had a sand pit. Now, this boxer tree, for those, again, some of you might not know this, but boxer trees is like kind of, if you've ever tasted a boxer, they're like bananas, except without any flavor, and with 4 giant pits and consistency like pavement. Anyway, he hid for many years, 12 years, and finally he exited the cave after learning much deep mysticism and eating tons of boxers. And the first person he saw a neighbor mowing his lawn. You can imagine how he felt, all that fresh grass, that delicious dandelions, edible. He was the first to use laser eye treatment. Now, I think we have a lot in common, us in our social isolation and Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai, because he had water to wash his hands, and we have Purell and toilet paper. We've all stocked up. He had a boxer tree with that was the only thing he could eat for 12 years. We have cereal, breakfast, lunch, and supper. My kids are eating cereal and milk, Frosted Flakes with sugar. He had he had his clothes disintegrated, and he had to hide in the sand and cover his body. We've been wearing pajamas for 8 weeks. The only differences are that he was stuck with his son, his adult son, while I'm stuck with 5 of my kids who are running around screaming on Zoom all day, where the teachers colluded to coordinate that every 10 minutes while you're in the middle of working, some kid will come over and yell, "I'm hungry, Tati! Give me some cereal!" Another thing that someone else, wow, there's a whole waiting room here. Another thing that Lag BaOmer celebrates is the end of a large, during Rabbi Akiva's time, there was actually a pandemic. Ironically, Lag BaOmer celebrates the end of a pandemic where there was, we keep a lot of mourning practices because many people died. So through the time up to Lag BaOmer, there's a lot of mourning rituals that we do, like drop in every single WhatsApp group. Tonight is this night of the Omer. Some of us, we listen specifically to terrible a cappella music. Now this year, thank God, the bands weren't able to get together and make any new imitation of non-Jewish songs. And also, we allow ourselves to shave. Non-Lubavitchers shave. They grow their beards out. They look like cavemen, which might be the purpose now that I think about it. And they shave. It's like Lag BaOmer suddenly arrives, and the entire Lakewood, they're waiting over there with the shaver. They're holding it up, waiting for Sevzman Sphira beard. They got their face lathered and everything, and then boom, yes, Lag BaOmer's here. Now no one's gonna ask me again for tefillin. Because I'm sure they get confused as Lubavitchers, right? They probably shave enough beard hair to light up an entire bonfire, which, by the way, the bonfires commemorate that person that was turned into a pile of bones. And I always wonder, like in Lakewood, that one Lubavitcher, who keeps his beard after Lag BaOmer, do you think that non-Jews look at him and say wow, that guy didn't get the memo? Anyway, so you could come in. No, not now. All right. Lag BaOmer is full of random traditions. Like, for example, you know, these traditions that like have no history related to them. Like, for example, like on Lag BaOmer, everyone knows we go out to the fields and you take bows and arrows and you shoot them in the fields, except that no one ever takes bows and arrows, goes to any fields. All right, bows and arrows are dangerous. We know what Yishmael did to Yitzchak. We don't want to be like Yishmael. That's one of the weird things about. Another weird thing is, you know how every single yontif has like its own food, like Purim has hamantashen because we want to eat Haman's ears, which is kind of weird. And Hanukkah has latkes because we need to have enough oil in our bodies to last 8 days. So Lag BaOmer's food is hot dogs. There's no explanation why, but everyone eats hot dogs on Lag BaOmer. I don't know, like I always wondered what the meeting went like. All right, it's Lag BaOmer, we're making this holiday. What kind of food are we gonna make? Hey, I got an idea. Let's go with marrow bones. That would be highly appropriate after what Shimon Bar Yochai did. And this, I'm sure this other wise guy was just like, nah, let's have hot dogs. You know, they're hot. And I like hot dogs. And just, we kind of rolled with it and went with it. And to this day, we all eat hot dogs without knowing why. There's no reason, no explanation why we eat hot dogs. As a Lubavitcher, though, here's how we celebrate. We celebrate Lag BaOmer with parade, because the truth is that we, like most Jews, look at holidays and they see food, different foods for different holidays. Chabadniks, we look at holidays and we see different vehicles, you know, like sukkahs. It's a pickup, right? You take the back of a pickup, you throw a sukkah on there, put on top of the roof some like really pointing, I don't know, bamboo, stick inside a couple of lovin', and just don't drive too fast or you're definitely killing the car behind you. Hanukkah, RV, drive around blasting music, handing out, throwing out jelly donuts. I once saw one of those Hanukkah mitzvah tanks got into an accident and filled with jelly donuts. That thing looked like a crime scene, let me tell you. Lag BaOmer is, what's the word? Flatbed trucks. There you go. We all take floats. When I was in yeshiva, it was like a month of no school. You basically skip school to make floats. Really what you're doing is putting together a paper mache cave, just painting it brown, and you're like, all right, here's a float. We're good to go. And the floats are used in the parade, and the parade is always my favorite part of Lag BaOmer. You know, like we all get around and it's like one giant protest, except people holding up these like weird signs, you know, these that say like, you know, put on tefillin, bring Mashiach. And it's always like the Rebbe's 10 mitzvahs. The Rebbe had 10 things that he was very much into. But some of them are a little weird. Like imagine a non-Jew seeing this parade going by and kids standing there holding stuff like bring holy books in your homes or observe family purity. You know, that like, what is family? Like, are we muggles? Is this Harry Potter? Like, what, you want me to take a bath? Like, what's going on here? I always thought they probably found it the strangest thing. Anyway, this year it's I've been preparing for Lag BaOmer. I wanted to make it a little exciting, so I decided to do like I like went in quarantine way early. Last year Lag BaOmer, I just decided I'm taking my kids. We're spending 12 years in the basement, cave. And this year, we're finally gonna Lag BaOmer. I'm gonna allow them to come outside and see the air. And if my neighbor is turning on his damn lawnmower, yeah, someone's in the waiting room. I think I'll end over here. Hold on. Let's get to gallery view. Let's unmute everyone. There we go.
Hi.
All right. Now, someone tried to get in and I was too busy to let them in. So let's go back into our group and let me notify people.
You can just,
They're probably like,
oh, it's just by talking, right? Okay, sorry. Not on mute.
try to get back in. Do you guys want to hear that there was a voice note left? Let's drop it.
Yeah.
With him. I'm actually at Home Depot right now. You can tell me when you want me to go on, I'll go on.
Ooh, someone's at Home Depot. Which Jew goes to Home Depot?
Well, let's see.
It
It is cheap over there sometimes.
All right, so we're missing Rabbi Yosh. Who wants to go next?
Me.
Really do this order. Saul, you're up.
Thank you.
Wait, let me mute everyone. 1 second, 1 second. I'll mute myself and Shmuley.
Yes. Hey, you ready? You guys ready? Hello? Oh, yes, perfect. Hi, how you guys doing today? How you guys doing? It's my 5th week in a row on the Frumprov show. Thank you, Tzvi, for having me on. I want to talk a little bit about Purim for a second. On Purim, I saw on the news that a person in Israel had a rock thrown at him, which is terrible. But hey, at least, he wasn't the only Jew to get stoned on Purim. That was terrible. I deserve a rock thrown at me for that joke. On Purim, Chabadniks get so drunk they can't tell the difference between a Mashiachist and the rest of Chabad. On Purim, Jews get so drunk they can't tell the difference between Donald Trump and Bernie Sanders. True story. Yesterday, I was walking around wearing a shirt that had like strawberry stains on it, and people were looking at me like, "Why is your shirt all red?" They thought I got stabbed or something. I think next time I'll walk around with strawberry slush on my shirt, on my head, and everywhere else, just to think that I got stabbed there too. Like, this is crazy. I always get these emails from these far left groups telling me to tell the government to have mercy on convicted criminals. Anyone else get these? I get them all the time, And they notice they never tell me what crimes the people committed. Recent email. Please tell our politicians to have mercy on our prisoners because they are very vulnerable to the coronavirus. My response was, please tell me what crime they committed, so I know whether it's worth having mercy on them or not. Someone once asked me, "What's the difference?" I'm like, "There's a big difference. They got caught smoking weed. It's one thing. If they killed somebody, might have to have a little sympathy for them. Because I work in funeral homes with dead bodies and they made me money, so, for more of my for more of my dead body job, my funeral home and my funeral home material, you can watch all the previous Frumprov videos. Anyway, one time I was on a funeral home job and I was in a car with the funeral director and a few dead bodies in there. It was one of them, actually, not two. It was one. And the funeral director was driving so recklessly. I gave her a look and I said, "Lady, if you don't slow down, there's going to be 3 corpses in the funeral in the hearse. Right now, there's only 1. Slow down. There's going to be 3 of them." I butchered that joke a little bit. Soon I'm going to look like a corpse for butchering that joke. Needless to say, that was the last time she ever drove like that with me in the car, and she probably requests that I don't come in the car with her that often. I'm at work, so I got to make this really quick. I want to talk about the fact my parents used to teach me Yiddish as a kid, even though I really didn't like it. They used to say things to me like, they would try talking to me in Yiddish, and I would say to them time and time again, "Please, this is America. Speak English to me." This was literally when they were, when I was 8 or 9, and I knew nothing about politics, and I already knew to say, "This is America. Speak English to me." And my parents said to me, "Don't worry. Years later, you're going to thank us for teaching you Yiddish." Ironically, they're right. It's years later, and I do thank them for teaching me Yiddish because now I understand German heavy metal bands like Rammstein. I don't think my parents envisioned me being a heavy metalhead when I was younger. I grew up pretty sheepish. So, I'm going to make it quick. I'm going to leave you with this. I want to tell you a story. I recently went to a courthouse, and when I got to the court, the security guard said to me, "Your case was suspended." I'm like, "What do you mean my case was suspended?" And I looked on the internet yesterday, and they said the Queen's Court is open. And he said, "It's open, but it's open for only important cases." I'm like, "Thank you very much. You just told me that my delinquent credit card debt is not important. Thank you. If only you were the owner of the credit card company. Thank you very much. I got to go." Thank you.
Auerbach, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah. Sorry for having to cut it short a little. I'm at work. I really did not expect to be at work tonight, but they
What do you do
desperately
in the
needed me.
funeral home? Can you share?
Mortician's assistant.
Which means what?
I help the funeral directors. I do all different types of stuff, from secular stuff to religious stuff to what you name it, I do it. You know,
Do you
sometimes I bring them from the hospital or nursing home or wherever they passed away to the my computer, my wire just fell. Oh God, if I don't get this on time, my computer's battery sucks. So yeah. So okay, come plug back in. Anyway, so basically what I do is I bring them from wherever they passed away to the funeral home. I help the funeral directors with that. I sometimes help them bring them to the cemetery. I help them with the preps, sometimes with taharas, different types of stuff. All you name it, I do it.
Work, man. That's holy work.
And I'm here alone now, but they're gonna they're probably, if they see this, whatever, it is what it is.
If this includes zombies, you may no longer be alone. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
There's a comment on my set over there. Sarah Goldenberg says that playing with bows and arrows is a Revish and minhag in Satmar. What, like the Iranians shoot at the Zalis and back? How does that work? They actually play with bow and arrows? Did you ever use a bow and arrow on Lag Baimer?
There's some corpses that looks like they had a few bow and arrows in them.
All right, but you've never done it yourself.
No, I've never killed anybody. People, contrary to popular opinion, I've never killed anybody. Some people don't believe me because I work in funeral homes. They're like, hey, you'd be the first guy we suspect. But I'm like, no, I'd be the first guy the cops would suspect. So, so we don't do it.
Andrew Picard writes, he's from Montreal. Andrew, you say, yo, freestyle. This is what it is. We're doing freestyle comedy. This is great. All right, Shmuley. Hold on. You got to unmute yourself. You're muted.
I'm gonna have to join with my phone because there might be better internet over there than the computer, which is very unusual, but it might be better there. So I'm gonna join with my phone.
Go ahead. Did I mute you? Let me I'm hitting the unmute button. There we go.
Okay. Hi, I'm Shmuley. I'm learning comedy and I'm nervous. Okay, let's begin our set. First of all, thank you. And that's how I got out of jury duty. Can't hear any laughter from through the internet, but thank you. Okay, let's start off with some joke. You know what? I grew up in Crown Heights, and there's a lot of people from Crown Heights watching, so I'm going to start off with a Chassidish Maisa. Please tell me, Tzvi, if it's appropriate. But it's a very beautiful Chassidish Maisa. I remember years ago, it happened with me. I was a kid in 770, and an old Chassid comes over to me and says, come take me to the bathroom. So I took him to the bathroom, and shit, this story is not appropriate. Sorry. Shoot, this story is not appropriate. Okay, so I took him to the bathroom, and then I stuck his hand down his pants, and he started feeling. And then this joke's not appropriate, so I'm going to continue. I can't continue to me or what?
No, do not continue that. Go to the Robert Kotlarski stuff you have.
Okay, beautiful. I think my grandmother was a bookie. Okay, I think my grandmother was a bookie. She played a whole innocent lady. Said, "Ich weiß nicht, was geschehen ist. I think she was a bookie because she always had cash on her. Made like she didn't speak English. She was always scared when the phone rang. Thought that the Russians were calling. I shook her down. I said, $10. I won't say anything to the Russians, and I got it. Now I could have gotten 50 if I said the Germans, but I'm an ethical person. Okay. Okay, good. Before the Kotlarski joke, I have a joke about Shlomo Mizrahi that I really miss Farbrengen, and I really want to Farbrengen with Shlomo Mizrahi. You have me, Shiva Tzvi? Yeah? Can't hear what you're saying. Okay.
I'll unmute myself so you can hear me.
Okay, you remember Shlomo Mizrahi from Farbrengen in 77 in Bazabacher?
I don't remember. No, okay. I never was a Farbrengen.
Good. So imagine Moshe Kotlarski was at a progressive left-wing SJW event, okay? We would like to welcome Reverend Al Sharpton, Michael Moore, the Olsen twins, and the kiss from MSNBC. I was on like plane all the way to San Francisco, Baruch Hashem. I met a couple, and when Mr. Sneffer, she decided to get married, even though her parents, Loelena, were against it. We'd like to welcome Tina and Nina, the women from the Pride Parade.
Yeah.
Bernard Baruch Yehuda Halevi Sanders. We'd like to welcome Reverend Wright, Solange Yar, Hillary Rodham Clinton, Nancy Pelosi, Barack Hussein Obama. Last night I spoke to Oprah Winfrey and she said to me, she picked up the phone and she said, Moshe, we're going to have the Don Nutza. Okay, I can come up with a better punchline for that. But anyway. Okay, you're laughing, thank God. All right, someone else is new to the room.
My wife walked in and she was like, I recognize that voice. Hey, that's Reverend Moshe Kolarski.
At a left-wing SJW event. Now, there are different neighborhoods in Brooklyn, okay? Now, I don't have this joke worked out, but bear with me. Different neighborhoods in Brooklyn. Every neighborhood in Brooklyn represents another disorder, okay? So Flatbush represents ADHD, right? Borough Park is depression, right? Williamsburg is oppression, and Crown Heights is bipolar, right? Okay, people I have written here, people who enjoy the long Gebirus suffer from depression, and Shlomo Munkus was ADHD. Okay, fine. Next, different ways of wearing a hat. Now, I don't really have this exactly worked out, but pretty much Shliach from the 80s, Shliach from the 90s, Confused Bacher in the 2000s, and everybody else. Okay. Now, you remember Galarente on Kingston Avenue? I don't know if you remember, I wrote this joke a long time ago. Galarente used to sell hats on Kingston Avenue. Basically, he used to sell hats on Kingston Avenue, and he got a bracha from the Rebbe for Parnassa. And all the Lubavitchers went to bankrupt. You know, they figured, look, he got a bracha from the Rebbe. I'm taking my business. He's okay. I'm taking my business somewhere else. Yep. Okay. They seem to enjoy it. Continue?
Continue, please.
I need approval the whole time. Hold on 1 second. Okay, shidduch call. There are more lies in one shidduch call than at a Trump press conference. Ooh. Yeah, you all love Trump. Yeah. By the way, we're collecting the names and the mother's name to send into a pan klali to the White House, and hopefully Jared can give it into him directly. Anyway, so what type of questions do they ask at a shidduch call? They say, could he learn? Who cares if he could learn? Okay, let's say you're about to give birth and you pulled over and broke down on the side of the road. Your wife's about to give birth. Are you going to care how much you learn? Besides, no one learns anything in yeshiva anyway, right? No wonder every time a bacher in Crown Heights finishes a whole block, he gets into every newspaper. There's 12 articles about it. Okay. Then the next question, right? What type of family does he come from? What does that even mean? What type of family does he come from? Well, pretty Jewish, a little racist, mostly white. Okay, I have a joke about the shlisel challah, but I'm going to skip it based on your expression before. It ends up with kata, but it's not appropriate. Should I do it anyway?
Skip it.
Skip it. Skip. Next.
My
Okay.
son's in the room. He's like 9 years old.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So people tell me I have problems because I get in my own way. You ever hear that thing? You get it in your own way. Get out of your own way, right? They say you're in your own way. Get out of your own way, right? Now I'm a big guy. Plus, I have to get out of my own way. That makes two of us. If I'm not careful, we could bump into each other. Then I realized that every person, just not only their adult, there's a child within that is in conflict with the adult. So we have two adults and two children, and I didn't eat yet. Then I realized the negative voice is not my voice, it's the voice of my grandfather or my great-grandfather. So we have 6 voices, 4 people. And we all know that every Yid also has a neshama. So we have 4 people, 6 voices, and 4 souls. Anyway, I'm in the psych ward.
Every Yid has 2 neshamas. Every Yid has 2 neshamas. You basically got a minion.
Oh, Lord, 2 neshamas. Oh, God, this joke's even better than I thought. Every Yid has 2 neshamas. Oh, God. So we have 6 people. No, 6 voices, 4 people, and 8 souls. So I'm in the psych ward. And the rabbi comes to visit me, and he says, every soul has 5 levels. 3 are down here, and 2 are up above. Yeah, that's it. I don't have a punchline to this joke. That's it. Okay.
Oh, you got a minion over there.
That's the end. It's kind of interesting idea. People like it, and they talk about it. It's not my business. Anyway, all right. Cheers. All right. Okay. I'm a chazan. I'm a cantor in Long Island, right? Let's talk about how beautiful my voice is for a moment. I have a really, when I first time I heard myself sing, I couldn't get over it. The thing is, in order to be a successful cantor in New York, in Brooklyn, in order to be a successful chazan, you can't be a chazan from today. Okay, let me pull up my hat to say that. You can't be a successful chazan from today. You always have to be from before the war, years ago, in a different era, no longer alive. Even if you're the best singer, you can have the biggest, highest, and most amazing voice. There's nothing you can do as long as you're still alive. You will not be a successful chazan. That's why I realized in order to promote my cantor career, all I have to do is pass away. A very easy joke, kind of an easy punchline. Threw it in.
Work that out with Saul.
Huh?
Work that out with Saul.
That was Saul, right? Okay. Why are most chazanim so bad? They're so bad. Why? Haven't Jewish people suffered enough? Listen to a bad chazan. You say very good, very good. Don't encourage it. That's why when people give me compliments, I tell them to go kacken or to go to hell. That's what it says. Sorry, I meant beep because I know no one curses at home in front of other people. Okay. And that's why I got kicked out of the KKK. You're laughing. I did this joke in Alabama. Afterwards, people came over to me and offered to help me reapply. Okay. I have overweight jokes. Let's get the good background for the overweight jokes, okay? How am I doing so far? Let me know now instead of me asking you later. And say, no, you did pretty good. Not bad. Some of the jokes were a little, but okay. All right. Let's continue. Okay. Okay. Fat people. So I used to be overweight. Okay, that's a picture. All right. Let me know if that's inappropriate. Yeah. All right. The thing is, contrary to popular beliefs, fat people get stopped more on the street. Okay. The less attractive you are, the more possibility that people are going to stop you because people are more comfortable stopping someone that's not attractive. The more attractive you are, the less you get stopped. Okay. You know, it was a while back in the day, someone came over to me and said, "Where's Fifth Avenue?" I said, "Listen here, you're a disgusting person. Okay. You don't think I'm trying? There's a store on every corner." Okay, I didn't say that joke again. Can I say it again? Anyway, the hardest thing about being overweight is going on the airplane, right? You know, you go on the airplane. It's very difficult to sit on an airplane in an apologetic posture for 3 hours. You know, just want to say that. You know, and that's the thing about being overweight. I'm really welcome, and my friends love me. They always want to sit next to me, except on the airplane. You ever walk on the airplane and you walk through every row, and every row is thinking, not us. Hopefully not us. Maybe hopefully not us. Please not us. Please not us. Please not us. Please not us. Then I would pass by the row that I was supposed to sit at, and then I would come back because I'll see the relief on their face, then come back and say, it is us. Okay. Okay. I'm now going to say a joke that doesn't make any sense. So it's good for like Long Island Chabadas. We're going to say it anyway. Okay, good. What was I going to say? Oh, so an Italian now walks into a kosher deli and he asks for a Reuben sandwich. So they bring him the bread, the corned beef, and 6 hours later they bring him the cheese. Okay, you don't get the joke. It doesn't make any sense. But because you know the thing is like Jews in Middle America, like most Jews in America don't know the laws of kashrus, right? And Jews in Brooklyn never heard of a Reuben sandwich, so the joke doesn't make any sense. Okay, it's good for like a Chabad house type joke, and everyone's like, ha! No matter the Chabad house laugh, you know, Rabbi, thank you for the cholent, ha ha ha. You better thank my wife, ha ha ha. It's like a standard ha 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 joke in every Chabad house. You have no idea what I'm talking about. Listen, the last time I went to Chabad house was okay. Fine. The next joke I'm going to make is something with politics, and then I'm going to end off with something for the neighborhood. Then I'm going to ask my friend how I did. How did I do? Okay, hold on. Oh, we all know these very famous presidential speeches, right? Very famous presidential speeches every president gave. So the question is, what if you took one famous presidential speech and gave it to another president to say, right? So for example, FDR, Japan attacked America in 1941. FDR got up and he said, yesterday, December 7th, 1941, a date which will live in infamy, the United States of America was suddenly and deliberately attacked by the Empire of Japan, right? We all know the famous speech. What if Obama had to give that speech? You know, you say, well, yesterday, December 7th, 1941, a date which will live in infamy for the people in America. Let me be clear. Japanese pilots were killed as well. I would like to send my condolences to Emperor Yamamoto and to his wife, whose name I cannot pronounce. No, I cannot. Okay, now I also have a Clinton or Bush joke, but I'm not going to do that. Not appropriate. I also have a FDR, Clinton, Bush joke, but we'll get to that next time. Anyway, I grew up in a tough neighborhood. This is what I do when I do stand-up outside of Crown Heights. I say I grew up in a tough neighborhood. I grew up in a neighborhood that was half black and half Jewish. So either you were mugged in the streets or robbed in the stores. So.
Ooh, well.
Heavy. Ooh. Let me get rid of this background. It's no longer relevant. Okay. I believe I lost your attention already. Okay.
This is great. This is great.
Okay.
Love that tough neighborhood joke.
Say it again. I grew up in a tough neighborhood. I grew up in neighborhoods half black, half Jewish. Either you were mugged in the streets or out in the stores. Why did Jews and blacks not get along with each other? They're very, very similar to each other. Jews and blacks are both OCD. Both OCD. They're both OCD. And I say it like this. Dude, we lived in a family. So the family to our right was a really nice black family, and they were mean, and they hated us because we were Jewish. And to the left was another black family. They were really nice, and they hated us because we were Jewish. And that taught me as a child that consistency is very important. You know, and so then I say, why do Jews and blacks not get along? Both OCD, we both love complaining, we both love talk about slavery all the time. I saw a black police officer pull over a Jewish guy. Black police officer says, no, the Jewish guy says you weren't. I wasn't speeding. I wasn't speeding. I wasn't speeding. He said, yes, you were. Yes, you were. Oh, yes, you were. This is the anti-Semitism. This is the anti-Semitism. This is the anti-Semitism. No, it ain't. No, it ain't. No, it ain't. Thank you very much. Okay, done.
Woo! Holy Lasowski, ladies and gentlemen, you can unmute yourself, folks. I kind of left it, yeah. Oh no, did I mute you guys?
I think I was muted the whole time, no?
Thank you. Thank you.
I think I have to start over.
Yosh, unmute yourself.
Hey there.
You definitely nailed that OCD. Judaism is filled with OCD, like, you know, shaking the lulav, and I used to show them bowel movements.
Pesach.
Yeah, I don't know who.
Pesach is for people with OCD.
Yosh, how you doing? Yosh, is your audio
What?
on?
Yosh.
It says my internet connection is on.
Yosh, what do you think about me as a person?
You don't want to know that answer.
All right.
That was great. That was great.
How's
Hold
your
on.
internet,
While we
Yosh?
wait for Yosh's internet connection to get stable.
Sure.
Are you also in a funeral home?
Huh?
Is Yosh also in a funeral home now?
I'll have to check with my wife. Not that I know of.
Is she alive?
Saul's looking for business.
She's not entirely undead.
Now, Saul, you can find him all over. Saul Auerbach comedian on all social media. Shmuley, where can people
Thank
find
you.
you?
Mostly on Facebook, though. For me, not for Shmuley. My mistake there.
I should unmute you.
Yeah.
I'm not muting you. You're muting yourself.
When I mute myself, it says the host muted you. I was my mistake. You can find me on Facebook, Shmuley Bolsovsky, and my singing is mostly on YouTube. My Facebook is mostly singing too, and we're just figuring out comedy. So you know.
This is great. You're doing great. He's the original comedian. This guy back in Yeshiva pulled off some Jackie Mason, like 2 hours of Jackie Mason.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
All right, Yosh, you ready?
I don't know, Tzvi. Is it stand-up comedy if you're not standing up?
I'll follow this time.
I don't know. Should I stand up? Should I sit down?
I'm gonna mute
Okay.
everyone and we'll let you go. I'm gonna mute myself too. So
Whatever. Okay, so we'll do some sit-down comedy.
all right, ladies and gentlemen, Yosh Berkowitz.
All right. Well, I'm just doing this for my family. You know, I promise. So, you know, I gotta take care of my family. Shout out to everybody in Crown Heights, the Ornsteins. All right. So, look, I'm very honest when I do my comedy. You know, I don't say any lies. I don't make anything up. I tell the truth, and the truth is pretty funny. You know, the truth is stranger than fiction. So you don't have to make anything up. Right? You exaggerate a little bit, maybe, but you can tell the truth. So I'll be honest with you. 1 second. Okay, I didn't lose my internet connection. Okay, I keep Tzvi is so still that it's like you're frozen. Like I lost my connection. There we go.
I'll unmute myself so you can.
Yeah. You were so still. It was like, okay, like I lost everybody over here. Saul also, who's like,
Well, I had to
oh,
sneeze.
Saul.
That wasn't COVID. No, it's terrible.
Saul, no.
I
Okay,
was
you
in the
guys.
store and I coughed. I like one of the
I'm very honest. I'm very honest when I do my humor. You know, I gotta say the truth. So the thing with this whole coronavirus, right? For me, I've been thinking about it, philosophizing. You know, I'm a rabbi. I have to philosophize about things. You know, why is this happening? What does it mean? I believe it's revealed the truth about everybody. You know, we all have our masks. We all have our, you know, our shtick that we put on. We all have our lies that we, you know, that we have. But the coronavirus has forced the truth out of everybody. You know, and you can see it. So, for instance, I used to love my children. You know, I used to absolutely love them. You know, I mean, I thought they were great. You know, the greatest kids who could be. You know, I would show them off. You know, like look how great my kids are. You know, like they were my swag. They were my merch. Those kids were my swag. I would show them off. You know, they're just terrible people now. I mean, I don't know what to do about it. You know, is that like it's the truth, right? I just want to call their teachers and apologize. I'm like, I'm so sorry. I'm like I did this to you. Like I apologize. You know, they're my kids. You know, a big fan of Jordan Life. Some
You're
people out there
cutting
really
off.
like that. I haven't read the book, but still a big fan. What?
You were cutting off for a second. You're a big fan of who?
Big fan of Jordan Peterson, you know, 12 Rules for Life. It's a very popular book, you know, really popular dude from Canada, all over the world now. So one of the rules is, you know, don't let your children become people that you don't like. And, you know, the problem is that most of us don't really know our children. You know, they spend 90% of the time outside the house. You get to see them just a little bit. So now we see like, wow, okay, I got some real work to do here. You know, I got to take care of things. You know, I've been subjecting people to God knows what. I have to get on this. This is my responsibility. I created this. You know what that means? I mean, that means like this is me. Where are they learning this stuff? They must be learning it from me. So I've been doing a lot of tshuva. So I've been trying to look at myself, look at the people around me, and see the truth. You know, so I got that about my kids. And then there's my wife. My beautiful wife is sitting here. You know, and there's the truth, right? I mean, she complains a lot. You know, her life is hard. You know, life is hard. And, you know, being home, I get to see all of it. Life is hard, but how many naps do you get to take a day? I don't get to take any naps. How many is this all the wives out there? Are they getting all these naps? I don't get naps. I mean, I collapse in front of my computer every once in a while for a minute, but I mean, it's pretty sweet. I mean, okay, fine. So that was good to know. I've discovered that truth. You know, when the women are home, they do get a nap every now and then. They know how to put the kids over there and put the baby down, and they catch them shut eye. It's a pretty good trick. So I'm learning the truth about that. And then there's Facebook. You know, everyone's spending more time on Facebook. Like there's nowhere else to have social contact.
Mhm.
Where else are you gonna have social contact? Facebook. Instagram, whatever. I don't use Instagram, God forbid. You know, it's Trafe. Facebook, whatever. You know, I don't know. I don't know if it's Trafe or not, but they definitely do a lot of reading. So I'm getting to see the truth about all kinds of fascinating people. So the people I love the most on Facebook are the conspiracy theorists. These guys are fantastic. You know, the guys who repost like there's something about conspiracy theorists. It tends to be that if you accept one conspiracy theory, you accept all of them. Like introduce me to somebody who just doesn't stop talking about how 9/11 was an inside job. And okay, I will tell you right away, this person is anti-vax. This person is, you know, believes that, you know, the presidents are actually lizards from another dimension. That's a real conspiracy theory, right? I'm not making that one up. 5G is going to kill us all. It comes as a package. You got one, you got them all. Okay. The problem is when the conspiracy theories start contradicting each other, right? So this one guy who I'm a big fan of, you know, this Lubavitcher conspiracy theorist, which is I find absolutely fascinating. You know, it's like his full-time job. So I'm trying to get this straight. Okay, so the coronavirus was activated, but is a vaccine induced nanobot that's infected us all. That's activated by 5G networks, which is why wherever there's 5G networks, there's coronavirus, right? Like new. Okay, all right, but there's no such thing as viruses. Okay, so viruses don't actually transfer person to person. There's really no such thing. But it was also created by Bill Gates to depopulate the world. You know, and it was engineered in a lab in China by Bill Gates. But all those, okay, I'm starting to get the truth about these conspiracy
Your
theory
your
guys. I don't
internet
think
is
they're thinking
choppy.
too much about what they write. But my favorite Facebook. What?
Your internet is choppy.
No, it's a little choppy.
Yeah, but it's okay. Go back. Yeah,
Choppy,
no,
choppy. I don't know why. I have good internet. I don't know what's happening here. Anyway,
it's the 5G. The waves are going through your head.
yeah. Whatever. It's all good. It's the conspiracy theorists. Okay, fine. So they're like going crazy, and this coronavirus thing, they're all over it. They're like, it's happening, people. They're taking away our guns, and that's happening in Canada, right? They're taking away our guns, and they're like they're all over this. They're all over this, man. They are so excited right now. So they're like spouting all their theories, but they all contradict each other. They don't actually make any sense, right? Like, I'm not going to go into that too far. I don't want to go down that rabbit hole, but man, that's been a lot of fun. That's like my part-time thing, just like the conspiracy theories. But the best thing about Facebook are the snitches. Oh man, you discover the truth about your neighborhood. I'm in some neighborhood Facebook groups. Wow. I live with terrible people. Just the worst people. Okay. My neighborhood is the worst. Okay. I mean, listen, I love NDG, but you guys are the worst. Okay. Somebody posts like, my neighbor is having like a little dinner party. They had a few people over. What should I do? I'm not sure. What's the right thing? Everyone's like, kill them now. They're gonna kill us all. Get rid of them. Like, just, oh my God. Like, they're like, just call the police and tell them there's a rave going on next door. Okay, Karen? Oh my God. Oh, take me out of this neighborhood. Oh man, that's my neighbors. I mean, it's kind of awkward, when you're in the park and you're like with somebody and you're not exactly and everyone's kind of looking around. They're looking at you, you're looking at them, like, which side are you on? Huh? Which side? Are you gonna call? Are you one of those people? Or are you one of the cool people? Like, everyone's like eyeing each other like suspiciously. You gonna call? Like, who are you calling? I saw 911. It's like really awkward. Like, I'm like Hasidic, right? I'm like a non-Hasidic neighborhood, and I'm like, I don't know this. Like, a lot of bad news going around. Anyway, and that's speaking of Hasidim. This whole thing has brought out the truth of what Hasidim are, right? The truth of the Hasidim, right? What's the truth of Hasidim? I mean, you see these pictures from New York, man. It's like, wow, getting together for funerals. All these articles being written. I mean, the mayor got on Twitter and he's like, wow, we're gonna go, went down there. He got all parent on them. Like, I'm gonna come down there myself if I have to. And he did, to Borough Park, with the Hasidic funerals. But, and all these articles written about how it's like the magical beliefs of the religion and you know what, honestly, they're just New Yorkers with funny hats. Okay, they just behave like all other New Yorkers. Okay, all New Yorkers do whatever the hell they want, whenever they want. It's like there's a nuclear bomb, like, yeah, whatever, have a nice day, like, forget about it. Okay, like, all New Yorkers are like that. They're just New Yorkers with funny hats. That's all they are. So they get together, like, New Yorkers are in like Central Park, they're watching the airplanes, and the airplanes came by. Hasidim are doing what they like. They're into funerals, this guy, like, they really cared about whatever. They're just doing like everybody else. They just have funny hats, so you can identify them. That's that. And and that carries over to Montreal. In Montreal we have this Hasidic neighborhood called Outremont. It happens to be, it's like a brutal neighborhood because it's like the most Hasidic Hasidim that ever existed, which are great. They're fantastic and all that. And then you have the most French Canadians who ever did French Canadian. And it's not a good mix. It's not a good, let's be honest. It's a disaster. Okay. So you have like the French Canadians like complaining, like, these people, they have their school buses, they double park all the time. Okay. I'm like, they're from New York. Go to go to Brooklyn. Like, there's like, how many school buses do you see an hour, and how many triple parked cars do you have to dodge? Because there's not, like, they're from New York, man. It's not because they're Jewish. They're New Yorkers with hats, with funny hats. Anyway, so I talked about everybody else. So that's the Hasidim. True, the Hasidim. They're just a bunch of New Yorkers. That's all. Normal New Yorkers. What about me? Well, everybody's found out the truth about me, right? Being on this quarantine, my family's been around, my wife, my kids, and they've realized all kinds of fascinating things about me, and so have I. One is that, I don't actually have a job, so that's been pretty brutal. Like, I don't really work. My wife's like, how many hours of work do you actually get done in a day? I'm like, God, I don't know. I've never counted it up. Like, right? That's a statistic, right? They actually look at people with even with people with real 8-hour day, like, office jobs. Like, they don't really they only do like an hour a day of real work, right? This is like real statistics, 1-2 hours a day, maybe. My wife was like, well, you don't really have a job. I'm like, I don't know, maybe I don't. I don't really know if I have a job anymore. Like I'm having an identity crisis. I thought I had a job. I thought I worked, but it doesn't really seem like it anymore. What do I do all day? She's like, this is what you do all day? I'm like, I don't know. And then like I daven, right? I'm just like doing normal things with I daven, that people do in shul, like talk to their friends and, chat online, like, and like go check something out and read the news. And my kids are like, Tati, what are you doing over there with your phone, right? I'm like, Dad, like, what's going on over there? I'm like, I don't know. I mean, this is just what we do, right? This is what we do in shul. They say, Tati, why do you go to shul anymore? And, is it because of the coronavirus? They tell me, Tati, you don't go to shul because of the coronavirus. I'm like, no, I just don't like going to shul. Like, that's the truth. I'm done. I don't like going to shul, kids. I'm like, oh, that's honest. Okay. Yeah. And you're always distracted, right? I'm like, well, you guys are home now, so we got to be on our best behavior. Like, you can't get distracted. What are your kids going to think? Don't get distracted. Anyway, the beautiful thing about this coronavirus, like I said, I've discovered the truth about myself. So apparently I love to garden. I'm going to be cultivating a garden this year. And I've been trying all kinds of new recipes, and I've been cooking and doing all kinds of new recipes and cooking. I don't really leave the house, and I don't have any patience for my kids. So I've discovered that I'm actually a 65-year-old retired woman. That's who I really am. That's the truth. I'm sticking to it. That's all, folks.
Woo! That was awesome. Hold on. Let me unmute.
I wanted to say about the conspiracy. You mentioned conspiracy theorists. I have an observation. You ever notice that conspiracy theorists literally only come out of the woodworks when there's an issue we all agree on? Like, you hardly ever see conspiracy theorists say, the government is trying to kill us all with abortion, or like affirmative action or something like that. You don't hear any. Like, I just thought about that. Like, they only come up 9/11, vaccines, Sandy Hook, like stuff we all agree about.
Yeah. It's a good call.
Yeah.
By the way, Shmuley, you've gotta mute if you're still there, Shmuley, you gotta mute the YouTube. All right, let's look at some comments over here. Oh boy, let me mute. I'm gonna just mute Shmuley for now. Your Shver says, hey Yosh. Bacha Kosher asks, is there any seriousness at Chabad of NDG? Every rabbi there is full of humor. Yeah, we take ourselves very lightly over here. Yeah, Shmuley, you gotta just turn off the volume on YouTube itself, because when we unmute you, we hear ourselves. And the NDG Facebook groups are absolutely hilarious. That was great, Yosh. Solid job. Let's give Yosh a round of applause. That was amazing. All right, we were supposed to have another guy who was supposed to be on, and but we can hear it. Did you mute the YouTube?
Yeah. Sorry, 1 second. Now you just you hear what you're saying several seconds later. It's good.
Yeah, just lower the volume and then we're direct over here.
Yeah.
On YouTube, not this volume.
Not this one, yeah, because we can hear what you're.
All right, so I'm gonna go with one more of mine. Let me mute all of you guys. Hold on. Mute all. That's how you test the muting. All right, some of you guys may have, I've done this one before. Some of you guys may have actually heard it before, but if you haven't, then all good. Okay, so the Gemara says that in the place where Baal Tshuva stands, even a tzaddik can't stand. That's right. You don't want to mess with their makom kavua. My mother is a Baalas Tshuva, and it's like really difficult for us sons of BTs because our parents inherit the strangest minhag. They don't even inherit them; they take on the weirdest minhagim just because they don't understand. The rabbis never clarify to them what exactly is going on. For example, for years, I had no idea that you were allowed to bathe during the Emor. No, I was eventually in yeshiva. The Rosh Yeshiva called me in, and Zvi, I gotta talk to you. Listen, do you go to the mikveh? yeah, that they always, bathing related to the mikvah. I was like, no, it's the Eimer. Why would I go to the? He's like, you could shower. It's like, what? Am I allowed to sing in the shower? Like, does it have to be a cappella? So I had no idea. And another example is I didn't know that the dish mikvah, you were actually supposed to go there clothed. I had no idea, and let me tell you something. It's very awkward years later going on shidduchim and having to tell potential spouse that you're not allowed within 10 to 15 meters of any mikvah. Pesach, though, is the worst because new Baal Shuvas take on the strictest, strongest chumras. Like a frum from birth, right? A frum from birth person has historical reasons behind. They're like, my ancestor Necha, year 1596, she had got her head chopped off in a blood libel. In fact, every Necha that's alive today is named after her. And her head was shaped like a watermelon. So to this day, our family doesn't have fruits or vegetables that are round on Pesach. Or they'll be like, in my ancestors' town, we don't eat potatoes because back in Europe, in the fields where the potatoes were grown, there was a worker who worked in the field next door who used to eat carrots, and peel the carrots would fall down. But these carrots came from a field that was right next to a city that manufactured bags for wheat. So therefore, we don't touch potatoes. In the meantime, us sons of BTs, we're like, our family tradition is every single Seder, when we reach Shulchan Aruch, we just take matzo ball soup and pour it over the heads of our wives and children because our ancestors had a prankster for a rabbi. My mother was a real Baal Shuvah, a real BT. She once caught, I don't know if you remember Gedolim cards. There were these Rebbe cards that had all these different Rebbes, and she once caught, found my entire stash. She took out all the Misnagdish Gedolim and tossed them in the garbage. I got really angry, so I just started smashing, throwing plates around, and that backfired. She was just yelling, Mazel Tov, Mazel Tov, Mazel Tov. But remember those Rebbe cards? I had an autographed rookie card of Rav Chaim Kanievsky. My mother hadn't thrown that out. Whew, and they were really insulting to these Rebbes. Could you imagine? I'll trade you 17 Balatanyas for one Vilna gun. That's pretty insulting. Even worse is when you use it on the spokes of your bike, spinning around, knocking off those Rebbe cards. I believe that now, in my opinion, there are so many people going off the derech and so many people becoming Balei Tshuva that someone needs to create an app where you could trade all your Rebbe cards for 10 seasons of Games of Thrones. Well, I guess to conclude, choose your rabbi wisely. If you're becoming a Baal Tshuva, choose your rabbi. Optimally, you want to choose a Sephardic rabbi. So if your phone dies, you can put it in some kitnias on Pesach. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Let me unmute everyone and let's chat. Unmute all.
Hi
I know
there.
Sal wants to say something, but I want to cut him off and say something first.
You can cut me off.
No, Sal wanted to say something. I wanted to cut off Sal and say something first. Go ahead,
You
Sal.
can cut me off. I didn't want to say anything. I'm actually still thinking of what I want to say.
Usually I start talking and then I figure out towards the end of the sentence what exactly I'm going to say. And it actually comes out fairly interesting most of the time. I mean, in order to be heard,
Like every other Jewish person.
I'm sorry, what?
Like
No.
every other Jewish person.
Yeah, exactly. But Jewish people don't know because sometimes, especially from Brooklyn, they speak very quickly. Blah, 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 blah. But all you have to do is pause every few minutes and say, listen, I was thinking I may do laundry. And the thing is, I mean, that's how you take it more seriously. But anyway, I got no time for that. I do have a Baal Tshuva joke that you were saying. Can I say it?
Yeah, as a son of a BT.
Yeah, son of a BT. So anyway, first of all, I don't like how this is set up. I think I'm going to sit down. Give me one quick second if you don't mind over here. Okay. So the joke is in Crown Heights, and I never did this joke in public, but I wrote it down a few years ago. So let's see how it goes. Anyway, thing is, what's so beautiful about our neighborhood is that we welcome in people from the outside and people from all walks of life, and we welcome them in and show them the beauty of what Yiddishkeit is all about, and what Judaism is all about. And when the guy gets closer and closer, and then as soon as you change it, and we bring him in with inclusiveness and everything, and it changes as soon as he changes his name from Joshua to Yeshua, Yufak Kakta Balchuva, you know, then the guy's all confused. He doesn't know what to do. Last week, I was sitting at the head table next to the rabbi's head table. You know, this week I'm at the kids' table. You know, that's why I recommend if people want to become frum, it's okay. You can become frum. Just don't tell anybody. Okay.
I just want to say I feel personally attacked by this segment.
Why?
Also,
At least
You can figure it out.
Yosh from
I made a compromise to the Josh Yehoshua problem, and as you can see, I just call
Oh my
myself
God!
Yosh.
Perfect. I just realized you're Yosh.
Yeah, actually, my cousins, my dear cousins, call me Josh and Yehoshua, like I'm two people, like literally every time they
By
refer
the
to
way,
me.
where are you from, Yosh? Are you from Montreal too?
I live 3 blocks from Svi.
Oh, I could, yeah, because
Three
I
blocks?
could tell
That's
by
not
the
3
accent.
blocks.
What? 3 long blocks? Yeah.
That is
Taka,
not
3.5.
It's
Yeah.
like 8 blocks.
Yeah, really long
Wow,
blocks.
that is so cool.
It's me. Did I ever tell you that I lived in Canada for 2 years, but not Montreal?
Toronto?
Yes.
I lived in Toronto for 2 years, but I visited Montreal many times back when my relatives used to live there, like on Divimy near Walderton, I think.
Nice.
Rovners. I don't know if you know the Rovner family.
Can I?
Aaron Rovner. What?
What was their name?
Rovner.
Don't know them.
Oh, okay. I also once went up there for a music festival way back in the day.
Ramstein.
Wasn't Ramstein. I don't know if they ever before. I don't know if they were performing there, but it was. There was Disturbed. There was a few other great bands performing. It was
Disturbed is like a good. Is it like you guys all heard about Disturbed? A good yeshiva bacher, right?
yes, good yeshiva bacher, Chafetz Chaim boy, who ended up, becoming a heavy metal rocker.
Mully's raising his hand. What are you
Can I
saying?
finish my joke? I wanted to
Yeah,
finish.
finish your
sorry.
joke.
Anyway, by the way, Josh, I like your stuff. I was listening to part of it. I liked it. Josh. Anyway, that's why. So my end of my joke is that's why I want to tell people if you want to become frum, okay, it's okay. You can become frum, but just don't tell anybody you're becoming frum. Okay, even if you walked on Shabbos, tell them you drove. That's the punchline of the joke. In other words, let me explain the joke. I'm saying that we welcome people in, and then we as soon as they enter, when someone is outsider, not from, they're like above everyone in the neighborhood, we welcome them in, we show them the beauty. As soon as they say they're an insider, they go under everyone in terms of a social hierarchy. I'm talking this in the 70s and 80s and 90s. Now it's like changed a bit.
It's still true. It's still true. It's just you come from. Don't wear a hat and jacket when you.
Yeah, don't wear a hat. Exactly. Yeah, and even if you walked on Shabbos, tell them you drove. You can still show you the beauty of Shabbat. That's it. End of the story.
Should we talk a bit about the news before we sign off? I have a couple of notes here. Let's talk about Elon Musk's kid. All right, named his kid a bunch of vowels and consonants and numbers. What do you got, Yosh? Any thoughts on that?
The most messed up kid that there ever was.
I was thinking that we finally figured out how to pronounce Slavchad.
Yeah.
Well,
Anyone else?
what I could say about Elon Musk is if he's the first person to ever have, if he and his wife were the first people to ever give birth to a kid in outer space, if they don't make it back to Earth, I'll be more than glad to be the first person to bury somebody in outer space.
All right.
Svi, there's only one person in history who has a more embarrassing name than that. Okay.
His father?
No, it's when Mr. and Mrs. Pumpernickel named their kid Johnny Johnny. That's the only that's the only worst. Yeah.
Are we going to talk about murderer hornets?
What's up?
Yeah.
Murder hornets. Well, I was gonna say that for these conspiracy theories you're talking about, I'm surprised. There's another group, those group that always connect everything to Mashiach. I'm surprised that nobody connected it to Mashiach. The Tzira B from the Torah, finally here. We're attacking Israel. No.
Yeah. There's just no silver lining to murder hornets. I actually spent like half an hour researching them just out of curiosity. My favorite meme was like the coronavirus is over, release the murder hornets. It's terrible. They're really bad. No, you do not. I was just thinking about like if I had to deal with that in real life, I don't know. I do not know what I would do with myself, honestly. They are horrifying. The absolute, like the worst thing that I can't talk about it.
All right, we're here
The
to.
only
In regards to the murder hornets, as far as I'm concerned, you can murder the hornet. You know, it won't matter if you murder the hornets because they've been irrelevant since Alonzo Mourning left in 1997. For those of you NBA fans out there.
Yeah, that's an NBA joke. That's pretty
Whoa.
good.
Yeah.
Pretty good.
Yeah.
You're probably enjoying the
Murder
murder
Hornet.
hornets.
Yeah, but you know what? That would be a good name for a sports team, like the Montreal Murder Hornets.
Yes.
I like that.
Yes. Yeah.
We almost had a Montreal sports team. Oh boy, my computer's gonna die. So we gotta end this.
Yeah.
Thanks everyone for watching. Thank you guys for coming on. That was a lot.
Thanks
of
for
fun.
having us.
Um,
Thanks for having me for the 5th week in a row. I really appreciate y'all, Face.
You're a regular. It's us two just chilling, and we have other
Hey.
people that participate.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you so much. Great. Appreciate it. Nice meeting you, Yosh. Good seeing you again. Saul. Appreciate
Yeah.
it.
You're trying to really get us to shut our phones now quick, aren't you?
That
Take
song
care,
is running
guys.
ahead. I'm
Have a great day. If anyone wants to try out, let me know. And
All
All right. Later.